air went really well. Ukrainian. That was all off the IOI, you saw it, right?
I didn't see the IOI.
Oh, okay.
The stop was brilliant.
Just come on.
The lightning quick reaction was that.
Well, that's it. That's drilled, you know. It's like specifically trying to clock IOIs from all the girls coming through because of the foot traffic. So I'm always looking, and the minute a girl gives me an IOI, it's just anything. Stop. Hello. Woohoo. Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter, right? Just in. It's like fucking Dave Bezant saving the penalty in the final, isn't it? I literally got a hand. I was like, like that, you know. But you can only really do that off an IOI because it's like socially calibrated off an IOI. You should know she was looking at you, and there's already interest. You do like a blind open, and you fucking grab a girl on the.
Very, very hot.
Oh, she's nice. That one's nice.
She slinked past in the denim. She was grinning as she walked past us.
Oh, I didn't get a proper look at her.
Yeah, she's very hot.
I really like this one, the two-set. That fucking jailbait and the tennis gear. I love that fucking fashionable tennis gear. You know, they got like tennis skirts and tennis shoes and tennis legs, but like fashionable versions. At some point, I'm going to come up with a good tease related to that. I've been thinking about it for a week and still can't freaking get one. Oh, there's a classy fucking bird. Look at her. Look, it's already up then. It's already up there. Huh?
Ukrainian.
Well, that one you just spoke to. Did he? Did it hook?
No.
Did she give you anything?
You would have flowed down, I suppose. Yeah.
No, it depends what she says. I mean, it's right. Like a game is like a fucking one of those decision trees, right? But it's a very complex decision tree, and every decision you have to feed in like what your calibration's telling you. So you know, like exactly the right thing to do in one circumstance is exactly the wrong thing to do in another circumstance, right? And you can, the audio. Let's say you heard the two sets, these like parallel sets. The audio might sound exactly the same, but you go one direction rather than the other, simply based on a little flutter of eye contact or a little shift in body language, right? Or because it's a different time of the evening, or you know, there's all these little subtle things. So yeah, sometimes she's like, oh yeah, I'm meeting a friend, and you take that as like, all right, she's not interested. Other times she's, oh, I'm meeting a friend, and you're like, yeah, nah, and you're like, friends, who needs friends? Friends are boring. Look, it's much better to live in the fantasy world. In the fantasy world, you can be a hero. You can do everything you want, or whatever, right? You just go off on one, and that's calibration. I mean, Jimmy doesn't teach calibration much because he doesn't have any. He just like blunders his way in, you know, like a bull in a china shop. Well, it's more like a chihuahua in a china shop. Actually, it's more like a chihuahua going up against the fortress, right, for the actual impact it has. Just a lot of shit on the floor, really. I ain't done no sets today because I got high. I forgot all my assumption stacks today because I got high. I tumble over my words and I know why. I agreed to go on holiday with Jimmy Jambone because I was high. I couldn't find a good excuse to get out of it because I got high. And now I'm wasting my time, degrading my game, I know why. Because I was high. Because I was high. Jimmy Jambone, he's thinking of a good refrain. But it takes a while because he has no game. Well, this little hamster here. Actually, a bit shouldn't be, isn't she? Nice hair though. Red shoes, obviously a whore. So, she's alright. One bit of game homework you can do when there's no sets is she's alright. Practice, let's walk past her so we can draw an IOI, shall we? Is practice going off on rants, right? You've saw how we do it a lot. I mean, I'm particularly prone to it. But go off on these like wild flights of fancy where you're just like spinning into creativity, you know? So like you'll just look at something and you'll think, oh fucking hell, that Stalin building there is awesome. Like, you know what I'm going to do? I reckon that when I'm king of the world, when I'm God Emperor of this godforsaken continent, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move in there. I'm going to move in there, and that top left big sort of arch window, that's going to be my PlayStation room. I'm going to pay Sony, I don't know, 100 million to develop a PlayStation 5. There'll be only one copy of it. I'll have it. I'll get Uncharted 5 developed and Dark Souls, and I'm just going to sit in there playing it, and every now and then I'll open the window and throw loads of money out. And you know what, if I get bored of that, because that could get boring after a couple of years, at the other side I'm going to have my Xbox room. She's alright, isn't she? Well, let's go up there anyways, fuck all, yeah.
So yeah, just make it real fantasy, hilarious.
Yeah, think of it this way, right? Most social action is on like scripts, right? Like a social corset. A little bit like this fucking path we're walking, right? There's like boundaries of the conversation, boundaries of what's expected, and you have like rules you're supposed to take on, right? So people just stick to them, right? Like on a fucking monorail or like on a train track, you know? And when the road determines that you turn, like we do now, we turn, right? We're getting channeled in a direction. Right? The architecture is channeling us in a direction. That's why it's built this way, right? And you'll see when architecture's done wrong, you'll see people start taking shortcuts, and you'd see this like worn out dirt trail, right, where people aren't using these. But for whatever reason, this architecture has correctly predicted the path people are going to go, so there's not real, you know, the grass is still there, right? People aren't coming off the tracks, right? Well, like all social behaviour is patterned that way. We all have scripts, we all have expectations determined by the frame. Right, now a lot of what we do, a lot of the way we break the frame, both to break a girl's frame, to impose our frame, and also just generally showing that we are these like renegades who do whatever the hell we want, which is attractive, is we come off these conversational tracks. And an easy way of that, of yanking yourself off the track, is you start doing these silly rants, right? Like, everyone does them differently, you know, like, but you see for example when that fucking stripper tout was going up to Jimmy last night, and he's like, right, but like, can you dance like me? Look, here's my dance. And he starts fucking dancing. He's like, look at this move. And then she tries to go back onto the script, right? And now he's like, no, I don't think you saw it again. If you watch it again. But so what he's doing is he's like yanking the wheels of the car off the road, and he's going cross country essentially, right? Yeah. And she tried to yank it back on, and he's like, no, we're going cross country now. Right? And he did this fucking retarded but funny thing, right? Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Is you can break a girl's frame by just like yanking the wheel and going off the rails, off the roads, with the confidence to just keep driving, right? You're going to go fast, and you just know that doesn't matter what bumps you hit, what trees come in the way, you're going to pilot your way around, you're going off on your rant. And that shows like tremendous self-possession, creativity, frame control, and it completely bamboozles her, because now suddenly she's without a script. She's basically hanging on. Like, you know, she's like sitting in the back of the Jeep hanging on for dear life. She hasn't got a fucking clue where you're going. But it's exhilarating, right?
Yeah, never met anyone like that.
Yeah, and once you get her far enough off, well, she can't get back anyway, right? So that's kind of what I mean, but you can practice this at home or in your day-to-day life by finding all these triggers. You know, like that bracelet thing that Jimmy said earlier, you know, it's like, oh, you might notice a girl's got bracelets, so you say something like, oh, like, what's with those bracelets? Do you make them? Do you sell them, right? Or there's that girl... As I said, she makes her own jewellery. I was like, oh, what's this, right? It was a pattern interrupt. She started saying something up. I grabbed her bracelet in the street. I said, oh, what's this? And she said, oh, I make my own jewellery. So I was like, what, you make like really nice jewellery? Yeah. So I was, what, so the stuff you can't sell because it's not very good, that's what you wear, yeah? Right? And then I started going off on a rant. So it's that principle. So you can look at, you know, you can look at the Hard Rock Cafe guitar and start thinking about something like that. You see, you know, I mean, I reckon that deep underground, there is a giant buried. It's like a giant version of Jimi Hendrix, although being Poland, he's probably white, right? It's 99% white here. But there's a giant rock star called Dimitri Hendricks, who lives under here. And to keep him under there, like Cthulhu, so that he never comes out the ocean and destroys Warsaw, they've put up his favourite guitar as a shrine, right? It's just retarded, right? I just come off the top of my head, right? But the point is not that you know, you're not going to go up to a girl and give her your fucking Warsaw giant guitar spiel, right? It's not about that. It's about just unburdening your mind to just go off on one. And, you know, sometimes it's going to be a total dud, and it's utter shit. But it doesn't matter, you're just, like, greasing the wheels of it.
Yeah, well, in this record, a similar thing is, so when he's talking about going sailing off to Italy with them, and what do you used to call it?
Future projection?
Future projection, yeah. So we're going to, like, steal a boat and go off to Italy together, and we're going to sell hot dogs on the beach, we're going to be dressed up like Greek gods, selling hot dogs on the beach. Really stupid shit.
Well, that was like a fundamental part of mixed fucking bar game, wasn't it? As soon as you'd be a few minutes into a set, he'd just hit them with a shit.
Similar kind of thing, you just tell these ridiculous stories that don't make sense.
Yeah, the more ridiculous the better, you know?